So one of the big announcements here at the Paradox Interactive Convention this year was Naval War Arctic Circle, a game that's early in development. Could you tell us a little bit about the setting and the sort of why is there a war in the Arctic?
Well, we are placing this game in a very near future. We have a conflict going on already now over the resources, the oil and gas in the north. And there is also the possibility of opening of waterways like the Northwest Passage, which can be an alternative to the US-controlled Panama Canal. So there are many opportunities for the great powers to get into conflict with each other, and obviously for our game that conflict turns into war. And we are concentrating on the naval war, of the clash of the great navies of the involved nations.
I've seen a little bit of the game, and it's quite a different strategy game in that the playing field is so vast. Can you tell us a little bit about the mechanics at play that makes this a very unique RTS?
Well, it is a huge playing field. It's the entire North Atlantic region. In theory, it could be the entire planet. We're concentrating here. On the open sea, somewhat contrary to what you'd believe, the fleets can hide behind the horizon. The game mechanics will be about stealth, not only literal stealth like the F-22, but also that you have to deny information about your forces to the enemy, and you have to obtain that information about the enemy. And all the strategies you can employ using your sensors, the radars and the sonars, they all come with a catch, and they come with a risk that you are giving away more information than you obtain about the enemy. So you will always have all these choices about how to deploy your forces, where to send your aircraft, when to use different radar and sonar systems, actively or passively, to obtain the information and at the same time deny the information to the enemy.
It's like a modern-day version of battleships.
It is a modern-day version of battleships, that is true. The old battleships were all about the range of the big guns and the protection of the ships. Today, protection is active anti-air missiles, is point defense systems. Obviously modern ships are armored, but there is no defense against modern weapons. Even the bigger ships can only take 3, 4, maybe 5 on a very lucky day of the missile hits.
Could you tell us a little bit about missions and objectives and how the game will play out in more practical terms?
In practical terms, we will make campaigns for the game. Well, you play on at either side in the conflict, and you will start off learning the ropes, maybe as a captain of a small group. You will have skirmishes in the fjords, and of course, what everybody wants is the big clash of these carrier groups, where you have swarms of modern aircraft, where you have the huge ships that engages the enemy with this massive arsenal of weapons. So we also will have, which we think may be the most important part, we will have multiplayer online where you can play against your friends as opponents, and you will be able to sink his aircraft carrier.
So you mentioned multiplayer. Will it be the same kind of scale and so on?
It can possibly be the same scaling as the scenarios. You could easily make fights between 2 ships on each side if that's what you want to do, or you can set up the entire navies of these countries and you can clash over the vast area of the entire map.
What different characteristics and strengths and weaknesses are there of the 2 factions?
Well, the doctrines have traditionally been slightly different between the US and Russia. The US is vastly superior when it comes to ships at sea. They have aircraft carriers which are way larger than anything any other nation on Earth has. So it has the possibility to project powers from sea towards land. The Russians have chosen a different approach by having an enormous arsenal of land-based bombers which can reach out to sea. They also have great ships. Survivability of their single ships a Russian warship is equipped for everything. It's not specialized. It has the possibility to take on all sorts of enemy and survive on its own. So there will be differences between the fractions.
So, just to wrap it up, where are you at in development right now, and when do you think that Naval War will be ready?
We are come a long way. We have a lot of the logic is in place. The AI is really progressed. We are concentrating a lot of finishing the details in the logic and creating a very good user interface, which is really important. It can't look like a spreadsheet. It has to be a modern RTS user interface, and all this information has to be presented in a good way. We are roughly 1 year off release, so we have some way to go.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.